Alright, let's talk about something that makes absolutely no sense. People work hard, really hard. They wake up early, they stay late. They do jobs that are physically demanding or mentally draining. And what do they get for it? Sometimes, shockingly little. It's a puzzle, isn't it? You see it everywhere. The cleaner scrubbing floors before anyone else arrives. The farm worker picking fruit under a blazing sun. The care assistant looking after our most vulnerable. These are tough jobs. Essential jobs. Yet, the paychecks often don't reflect that. Fasten your seatbelts. First up, let's talk about how money, or wages, actually gets distributed. Imagine a giant pizza, a delicious economic pizza. Now, some people get huge slices, massive, greasy, multiple topping slices. These are often people at the very top, the CEOs, the hedge fund managers, the guy who invented that slightly annoying but addictive phone game. Then there are the other slices. Some are decent, some are okay, but a whole lot of them are tiny, pathetically small. These often go to people in service jobs, manual labor, or the care sector. The distribution isn't even. It's wildly, comically, tragically lopsided. And that, in a nutshell, is a big part of our problem. Now, let's consider why some types of hard work are practically invisible when it comes to pay. Think about essential workers. We clapped for them, didn't we? During the pandemic, they were heroes. Delivery drivers, grocery store staff, healthcare support workers. Their work was, and is, undeniably vital. But did their pay suddenly skyrocket to match their importance? For most, not really. It's a strange paradox. The work that keeps society functioning, the really hands-on, often grueling stuff, is frequently undervalued. It's like we collectively say, "Thank you for your service. Here's a coupon for 10% off your next existential crisis." It's not good enough. Some jobs are seen as low skill, which is often a massive misnomer. Try calming a distressed dementia patient. Try managing a classroom of 35-year-olds. Try picking strawberries at lightning speed without bruising them. These require incredible skill, patience, and stamina. But the pay rarely reflects that. So the hard work happens, but the monetary reward? Often not so much. Okay, so we've got uneven wage slicing and undervalued work. But it gets worse. There are systemic issues. Yes, systemic. That lovely word that means the problem is baked into the very structure of how things operate. It's like trying to win a race where your lane is full of hurdles and everyone else's is clear. Think about the decline of unions in many countries. Unions historically gave workers a collective voice. They fought for better pay, benefits and conditions. With fewer workers in unions, individual employees, especially in low-wage sectors, have very little bargaining power. It's one person against a giant corporation. Guess who usually wins that negotiation? For many, wages have stayed flat or barely nudged upwards, while the cost of living has soared. These aren't accidents. They are features of an economic system that often prioritizes profits over people. It's a setup. Section 5. Real people, real struggles, stories from the front lines of low pay. Let's make this real. because these aren't just abstract economic theories. These are people's lives. Think of Maria. She works 2 cleaning jobs. She leaves home before her kids wake up. She gets back after they're in bed. She's constantly exhausted. Her hard work keeps offices and homes spotless. Her pay, barely enough to cover rent and groceries. Or consider David. He's a care worker. He helps elderly people with their daily needs. Washing, dressing, feeding. It's physically and emotionally demanding. He loves his job. He cares deeply for the people he supports. But he's struggling with debt. He sometimes skips meals to make ends meet. His vital work is rewarded with poverty wages. These stories are everywhere. They are the human face of wage inequality. Section 6. The education equation. Does schooling always equal dollars? We're often told that education is the key. Get a good education, get a good job, earn good money. Simple, right? Well, not always. Higher education levels correlate with higher earnings. But it's not a magic bullet. Some highly educated people still earn less than they should. Education helps, but it's not the whole story. Many end up saddled with enormous loans. Education is important, but it doesn't automatically fix a rigged system. Section 7. Born into it. Social standing and your paycheck. Now, let's talk about something a bit uncomfortable. Social status. Where you start in life can have a massive impact on where you end up, financially speaking. It's not what you know, it's who you know factor. But on a much grander, more systemic scale. This isn't about blaming individuals. It's about acknowledging a reality. If you're born into a wealthy family, you likely have access to better schools, better connections, and a safety net. This can open doors to higher paying opportunities that someone from a less privileged background might never even know exist. It's like being born on third base and thinking you hit a triple. The playing field isn't level from the start. Systemic discrimination means that even with the same hard work and qualifications, people from marginalized groups often face additional barriers to earning what they deserve. It's a hard truth. Section 8. Job titles versus bank balances. The work you do matters a lot. The type of job you do is obviously a huge factor in your earnings. But the way we value different types of jobs is where things get really skewed. Some jobs pay incredibly well, even if their direct societal benefit is, shall we say, debatable. Think about some roles in finance or corporate law. Big salaries, big bonuses. Then you have jobs that are undeniably crucial for society to function. Nurses, paramedics, childcare workers, sanitation workers. These people are literally saving lives, caring for our children, keeping our communities healthy and clean. But their paychecks? Often a fraction of those in the previously mentioned sectors. The value society to place on these roles isn't reflected in their compensation. The effort can be the same, the dedication equal, but the job title and the sector it sits in make all the difference to the paycheck. The work you do matters, but the pay doesn't always match. Section 9. Rules of the game. How policies and companies keep wages down. It's not just abstract forces at play here. Oh no. Economic policies and common company practices actively contribute to this mess. These are conscious decisions made by governments and corporations that directly impact how much hard-working people earn, or more accurately, how little they earn. Consider minimum wage laws. In many places, the minimum wage has not kept up with inflation or the cost of living. It's so low that someone working full-time, or even more, still can't afford basic necessities, and efforts to raise it are often met with fierce resistance, usually with debunked arguments about job losses. Companies might make record profits, but wealth isn't always shared with the employees whose labor generated it. It's a deliberate redirection of funds. Section 10. So, what now? Fixing a broken pay scale. So we've seen it. Hard work often doesn't pay. Wages are skewed. Vital labor is undervalued. The system has built-in problems, and policies often make things worse. It's a bit bleak, isn't it? But it doesn't have to be this way. We can actually do things. For starters, how about paying people a living wage? A wage that actually covers basic living costs. Strengthening unions and worker protections would also give employees more power to bargain for better pay and conditions. We also need to reevaluate how we value different types of work. Essential shouldn't just be a buzzword we use during a crisis. It should be reflected in paychecks and respect. Because the idea that hard work should lead to a decent life isn't radical. It's fundamental. And it's time we made it a reality.